take your seats. We're just about to start. And we're going to start with a 1-minute star. So if you're not in the room, you won't get picked. So we're going to do something that we've done a few years, which is called a 1-minute star, which many of you have put your business cards in the box as you came in. And actually, I'm going to get Georgina to come and pick one out, maybe ruffle through them, and then you come on stage and tell us in 1 minute what you do.
We have Rose.
Rose, are you in the room?
Rose Gowans.
Gowans. Rose, are you in the room?
Rose.
No? Let's pick another one.
Right. Rose is just hiding at the back.
I want to do it.
Corinne Mandan.
Corinne, are you in the room? Corinne? No?
Okay.
They're missing out by being late.
Wants to stand on the stage. Come on. Don't have us have lots of them. Right. Nancy Benn.
Nancy.
Virtual assistant. We have Nancy.
This is a bit weird.
Right, go again. Surely now.
This is going to be you. I know it's going to be you.
Ali Farmer.
Oh, woo-hoo. Come on, lovely Ali. On the stage. Woo, 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 woo. Let's hear it out for Ali. Your business. Mind this thing, yeah. We don't want those sorts of Instagrammable moments where someone's falling over.
Well, it had to be me.
Right, my darling, come here. So we'd like you to tell us about your business in 1 minute.
Hello, ladies. I guide women to adopt a natural approach and find a solution to hormone balance. I support women of all age groups to find their journey and live their best life whilst experiencing perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause by means of natural progesterone cream from Dr. John Lee and Arctic Norwegian oil from Ecology.
Thank you. Well done. Brilliant. So I'm going to hand you back to our amazing MC.
Well done, Ali. That's hard, even when you're not just put completely on the spot like that. So thank you very much. And welcome back, everybody. I hope you're feeling caffeinated and fueled and ready for another 2 marvelous speakers. I've been having such wonderful feedback from everybody about how much they enjoyed the first 3 speeches. So thank you for your feedback. Do remember your feedback forms. We do want to know what you've enjoyed, what we could do better. So before you leave, please do fill those out. So to start off the new session, we have the lovely Christine Mullaney. She is a public speaking coach, a TEDX trainer and speaker, no less, who will be telling us how to wield our wisdom. And yesterday at the networking, she said we were going to be Celtic warrior princesses or something. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm sure I have my costume somewhere. So she is an associate of the Irish Board of Speech and Drama and creator of the Neurocultural Communication Model. Alongside coaching and training, Christine runs the Connected Communication Portal and hosts the award-winning Connected Communication podcast. And she aims to have her first book published in 2025. Woo! Christine's mission is to help make the world more inclusively communicative, which sounds like a great mission to me. So come on up, Christine, and tell us all about it.
You do not need to have a costume to be a warrioress. We're already in our skin, that's all we need. Good afternoon, it's good to be here. It's afternoon now, yeah? Yeah, okay. Thank you for having me. The introduction is done, so I won't reintroduce myself. But I will ask you a question. When somebody compliments you, what do you say? Do you really? You don't go, oh, this old thing. Oh, I've had this for 10 years. No, not really. What if somebody asks for your opinion? What do you do then? Do you give it? All the time? Even if you might be wrong? Or men might laugh at you? Or they might tell you that you can't work for them anymore? Or you might be shunned by society? And we create it for ourselves, right? but we have to get there. And it's our life lessons and our life journeys that get us there. And often we learn to hold back that opinion, not to say what we think, not to disagree, not to be difficult, not to cause too many ripples, because sometimes the ripples create waves. And if we're the person who created the wave, maybe we put too much attention on ourselves. But we don't care about that when we're babies. This is my niece and my nephew, exploring their world. They have no inhibition. Like my baby sister, when we were on holiday in Wexford one year. She was 2 years old. Have you been to Mass? Yeah, has everybody been to Mass in some form, or the church, or some sort of religious practice? Let me see. Or, yeah, most people. So in Mass, you're in a building. There's a priest at the top. And there's reverence in the room. People are praying. There's connection in the crowd. And suddenly, a 2-year-old child tugs on her mommy's top and she says, "Mommy, Mommy, I did the diarrhea. And it's running up my back." And it was running right up her back. And everybody giggled like you giggle, because she was 2. And we don't judge 2-year-olds for saying, "I just shat myself in public." Excuse my language. I'm Irish. We don't judge their lack of inhibition. They speak, and we listen, and we give a wee giggle when they speak. But as we grow up and we get older, we learn to be inhibited. We learn more than the 2 natural fears that we're born with. We learn, instead of to be afraid of loud noises or to just be afraid of maybe falling off something, we learn to be afraid of ourselves, afraid of our voices, and afraid of a red face in a crowd. We learn to inhibit. But we're born with wisdom. Each of us is born with an innate wisdom that is part of the composition of our lives. We've got the pages written already. And then, that's me on the right-hand side, reading a story to my niece. Then we hear stories throughout our lives. We have experiences. And we shape new wisdom for ourselves. And those stories and those experiences that we have and that we hear and that we learn, they become the tapestry of our lives. I don't do tapestry, but my nana used to do tapestry. And she used to have these beautiful coverings for the fire. And she'd sit for hours and stitch and stitch and stitch and create this incredibly intricate design that gave pleasure to every person when they saw it. And each one of us is exactly that, a tapestry. That when we smile with another person, or we share ourselves with another person, creates joy and gives life. But the tapestry of our lives is made up of all of our experiences. This is the tapestry of my life. You don't have time to read it all now. But what you have on the top is me by the time I was 38. I turned 42 this year. And all the jobs that I had by the time I was 38. I moved a little bit. I had 38 jobs in 23 companies on 5 different continents by the time I was 38 years of age. But when you look down here, then you can see my mum, my grandparents, my dad, and my stepmom. And that shows you the influence of them. Mum was a chef and an accountant, a speech and drama teacher. My dad is a manager of a shopping centre. All of the jobs that I had were all shaped by the people who came before me. That was my reality. The truths that I spoke and the thoughts that I thought were thoughts that I had been trained to think throughout my life. They were my reality. And then one day, I realized that there is no difference in the brain between imagination and reality. We can teach it. And I thought, I'm having a bit of a hard time at the minute. Life is tough. I'm telling myself terribly negative things, much like the speakers have spoken about this morning already. What if I can change this? What if I can tap into something inside me that allows me to do things differently in my life? And that's how we get to that place where we say no to the man or the woman who wants to stop us from moving forwards. Because men aren't the enemy, just like the mayor said this morning. We all need to work together. And I started to think, right, I'm going to teach myself. I'm going to teach myself how to connect with the shadowy characters inside my mind. Just like this little boy that I watched at 11 o'clock at night hosting a shadow puppet show in a place called Chengdu in China. It's where the pandas live. It's the famous part for the pandas. But I thought, I can connect with those shadowy characters and everything that's inside me. And I can start to puppet them. I can move those characters around. And I can take them off the stage and replace them. And create new characters in my life. New stories. I don't have to change the past ones. They make an impact now. But I can write new stories. Just like all of you did by moving to Spain, if you're living in Spain. You decided to write a new story. Or maybe just to write the next part. But how did I do it? And what did I learn along the way? That's what I want to leave you with today. Some actionable steps that you can take to walk through the compression of fear and speak whenever you feel compelled to. That blip that Kate mentioned, when you think, I want to change my prices. I can't do that. Or I want to say no to that client. I can't do that. Or I want to go for that business, but I'm not good enough for that. And you maybe don't say these things to yourselves. Maybe you are in the positivity already, but there always comes a time as we grow and we expand where a new sense of discomfort or compression comes. And I call this the spiral of suppression. Now, we know from neuroscience research that when we physically suppress ourselves, our emotions, our voices, we impact our bodies. So what happens is we have a suppressed experience or a suppressed reality. We push it down. Nah, this isn't happening. I'm in a happy marriage. He's not treating me that badly. My sister respects me. My best friend puts in as much effort as I put in. We suppress. We push it down. And then we get resentful and annoyed and upset. It's your fault that I didn't tell you that I'm not happy with you. And we damage our relationships. And as I think it was Kate had it in there as well, you have a lack of self-regulation, a lack of focus. You can't do the things you want to do and that you need to do. And then what happens? I'm going to make a loud noise now, just for anybody in the room who might jump with loud noises. You're all a problem. Get away from me. You explode. Maybe to your children, maybe to your husband, maybe to your partner, maybe to yourself in the mirror. I know I do. Christine, that was really stupid. Why'd you do that? You explode. Or it explodes on your body and you get sick, physically sick, and we see it and we feel it. And then because of that explosion, we feel guilty. There's a rebound. I shouldn't have said that. I've hurt them now. I have to say sorry. Or maybe we can't say sorry. And then what happens? We hide away. There's more suppression. So we have this spiral of continued suppression all the time. But we can change it. Over my life, I have made significant changes multiple times. I have suppressed in a bad relationship and put on loads of weight and not noticed that it was happening. And I have suppressed and been in narcissistic abuse. And that's not physical abuse, it's from emotional suppression. And had it explode all over my body physically, to the point where, truthfully, I thought, one day I was going to go. And I realized that I had to change myself. Something I was doing was repetitive, and something needed to change. So I left, first of all, which is a very important thing to do. And I learned to veto my brain. Have you heard of the veto principle of the brain? Right. Have you ever been in a bar or somewhere and you've seen something juicy? Not fruit or sweets of the maybe the same sex or the opposite sex across from you, and you thought, oh, I'm going to go for that. Have you had that experience? Yeah? And your body went like this? Right, lovely. So what happened there was you got the brain signal on the left-hand side. I'm fired up here now. I'm interested in this. You got the desire to move. And this is happening all in the space of half a second. The desire to move comes. You begin to lift yourself off the chair. And you go, no, I better not do that. What if I embarrass myself? What if they're not interested in me? What if I walk across the bar and they walk away and everybody sees me? Have you had that happen? And you hold yourself back. That's a negative veto in your brain. You stopped yourself from doing something that might actually have been good for you, that maybe you would have got some pleasure from. That is a choice that we make in our brains. It's a very hard choice to make, particularly if you're coming from trauma. But you have 0.2 of a second to decide, am I going to act or am I going to stay? Am I going to think the negative thought or am I going to change it? 0.2 of a second. So how do you learn to tap into that really fast? Well, you connect with the warrioress inside you. Yeah? Have we all got a warrioress inside us? Yeah, let me hear that a little bit stronger. Have we all got a warrioress inside us? Yeah. All right, this is Scohawk, and I talked about her on the podcast this week. I'm not going to introduce all of them to you. Scohawk is kind of a forgotten Celtic warrioress. She's Scottish. Rose is in the room. Rose representing Scotland. I met her in the bathroom. There you are. So Scohawk. Oh, have you heard of Cuchulainn? Some people have, some haven't. So I'm Irish, in case you haven't noticed. And in Ireland, we have a very powerful warrior, the greatest warrior in our mythology, named Cuchulainn. But Cuchulainn, who was Cuchulainn trained by, do you think? A man? A woman. A woman trained the most formidable warrior in Irish mythology. Scohawk trained him. She was fearsome, brave, formidable, a skilled visionary. The shadowy one, she was called. She was okay with her shadow side. In your notebook, have you got your notebooks out? Are you being good attendees? Doing diligently what you're required to do? It's all right. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. We won't force you. In your notebooks, you can see how to wield your wisdom. Okay? Excuse me. If you have a wee pen there, you don't need to answer question 1 yet, but you could just put a couple of notes about what you connect with in terms of Scohawk's adjectives there, her characteristics. Choose 1 or 2 of them for you and just make a note at the top of your page for me if you don't mind. What characteristics do you identify with Scohawk? I'll give you a few seconds for that. Perfect. And if there's one that you connect with, but you don't really act it or behave it or feel it in yourself right now, write that one down. Maybe you don't connect with any of these. So let's try Maeve. Have you heard of Queen Maeve? Yeah? Yeah? I see the hands going here. Woo, lovely. So Queen Maeve is all about her cycles and her rhythms. Queen Maeve stopped one of the most famous battles in Irish mythology because, can anybody guess why she might have stopped the battle for 3 days that she was leading? Anybody guess why she might have stopped it? She might have done. Indeed she did. She got her period and she was like, lads, this needs to stop for a few days. I need a break. Yeah? So, she was womanly. She was powerful. She was strong. She was sexy. She had a fair few lovers. She kept the husband, but she had a fair few lovers as well. And she was purposeful. Do the same thing, please, for Maeve. What do you identify with? What do you identify with that you don't embody now, but that you want to embody? Pick your adjective. Give you about 13 seconds. And maybe you're a bit like me and you're not as womanly as Maeve might have been. Maybe you're a bit of a bold one. I should say, not bold, bowled. When we're bold, there might be a negativity to it, but when we're bowled, there's a cheekiness to it. We take risks, but not stupid risks. Grania Whale is the final warrioress that we're going to look at, who was bowled. Grania was a female pirate. One of the most powerful female pirates on the seas. We got many people from England in here. Guess what she did? She brought a knife into your royal courts to meet your queen. I'm allowed to say that. I'm Irish. It's a good relationship now. She was smart. She cut off all her hair. She got on her father's ship. She was like, Dad, I've no hair. I can't bring bad luck to the ship. Let me sail. She was unwavering in her loyalty to her brothers, to her clans, and to her land and to her country. In fact, apparently, still in Howth, which is a lovely seaside village in Dublin, they set a place for her at the table because once they closed their doors when her ship was coming, and she taught them that they should never do that again. So write your adjectives for Grania. What do you connect with? What do you not connect with yet, but that you want to connect with in the future? And on question 1 in the notebook, write which warrioress you identify with most. Maybe all 3 of them. Did I hear someone say all 3 of them? Did you say that? I love it. Absolutely wonderful. Because we don't have to be one. We can step into the characteristics of any of the ancients that come before us. And I did it last week, sitting on the roof of my building, under severe pressure, giving out to my brain. I sat down, I closed my eyes, and I said, Scohawk, I need to connect with something inside you so I can do what I need to do this week. And did I do it? What do you think? Of course I did. Tap into an inner warrioress, you're naturally going to do it. When we do this, what we do is we step from the spiral of suppression into the coil of courage. Think about it like this. You feel that compression of fear, that blip. I don't want to do it, I'm scared. Yeah, but I need to have courage here. Core. I need to have heart. You say, this is fear, or this is anger, or this is frustration or annoyance, or whatever adjective it is. And Michelle has beautiful adjectives on the front of the notebook for you today. You just label it. All right, it's fear. I've been scared before. Did I get over it? Yeah. So we've acknowledged it. Now, I need to act. So I want to look at this fear differently. How do I connect in with the ancients, with the composition of my life before me, and act? What can I tell myself that will flip my mind and help me to dare to think different thoughts. And then you express whatever it is you need to do. Express healthily your emotion to another person. Express your need on the wall here or your want. And then what happens after that? Oh, I did it. I feel really good about myself. We get a dopamine kick. And what happens when we do something that makes us happy? Do we want to do it again, or are you afraid of it? Do it again. Rinse and repeat. Just like your underwear in the evening times. I want to do this and help women to understand that we're all a composition. Not just women, men too. We're a composition of our ancestors that came before us, but we're also a composition of blank pages left to complete. And every step and every action and every moment, we write something on those pages. Every time we think, we write on those pages too. If you are somebody who is rewriting parts of your composition or writing new parts, and you want to understand the neuroscience of confidence and courage, and how to step into your courage every time you feel that blip, I have an invitation for you. Some of you down there have cards. Some of the bags have them. Some of the ladies that are sitting in the seats have them. It has a QR code on it. I am going to host at bang on equinox, 10:01 on the 20th of March is equinox, a Wield Your Wisdom workshop. And I asked a friend of mine, how do you feel when you read this from women with opinions they don't share yet? And she said it feels a bit like it might be people who are in abuse or who've experienced abuse. And in a way it is, because that's what I experienced. But this is for any of you who shut yourselves up in the moments when it's important to speak. Or any women that you know who could do with it. Completely free at Equinox. So that we can write a composition together instead of separately. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. That was such a great presentation. You can tell you're a TEDx speaker. Awesome.
Here you go.
Thank you so much.
Before we move on, we have actually got outside on the table where the books are some bracelets. And they are the stock of a lady who suffered domestic violence and now has brain trauma. We wanted to sell them, but somebody's accidentally picked up the QR code, which goes to her GoFundMe page, so we can sell those bracelets. So please, if you've picked up the paper that's got her GoFundMe link on it, please could you just give it back to me so that other people can buy the bracelets off her. We've asked for a minimum €10 donation, but anything over that is fantastic. She's obviously no longer in Spain because of her situation and needs to fund her medical treatment, which is obviously getting very expensive. So if you can help, that would be great. But if you did pick up the paper, just give it back to me, that would be perfect. And then other people can buy her bracelets. Thank you.
Thank you. Madly rummaging in the bags, anybody? Right, before our next presentation, I'd like to introduce Carol Schleisman. Yes. Oh, that one's been killing me worries. So Carol Schleisman, a representative of one of our lovely sponsors, Currencies Direct, who's going to come up and tell us a little bit about their business before we get our lovely keynote speaker up here. Carol, over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, just in case, it's actually Carol Schleisman, not Schlusman. She couldn't make it today, so you've got me instead. I know it's an awful name to pronounce. It's an ex-husband's fault, and I just kind of stuck with it. It's really great to be here again, supporting Costa Women and all the good causes that we've talked about today. I do feel a little bit of a fraud in between. I mean, we've had some inspiring talks, insightful talks. I hope what I'm going to tell you is helpful, if nothing else. If I'm breathless, I haven't been drinking except coffee. It wasn't the staircase, but I may have overindulged on the coffee, so bear with me. Some of you may be familiar with Currencies Direct if you live in this area. I'm not going to bore you with a long story about it. What we do very simply is we get our clients a better rate of exchange with no international transfer fees or receiving charges. How do we do that? We buy currency at a preferential rate. We pass that on to you. We do put a little on top for ourselves because we're good, but we don't do anything for nothing. We are a business, so we're not that good. We can help you whether it's a large transaction, a small transaction, buying a property, moving your pensions from another country. You might have business bills to pay in another country. So you can have a chat with us about what's going to be the best service for you. We also have a debit card, multi-currency card. So instead of loading a currency onto a card when you go on holiday or if you've got to go on a business trip, you very simply load your local currency. So living here in Spain, it would be euros. And you can either convert that currency if the rate of exchange is particularly good. You can change it to whichever currency you might need on holiday, for example, a US dollar. Or you can just leave it in euros and pay as a normal debit card would be in the States. You get the preferential rate of exchange and you don't get these awful charges made by the banks. We've got a lot of facilities for people depending on what they need to do, if they have a timeline, for example, of maybe investing in a property, investing generally, or a big purchase that they've got to make and they want to make sure they get the optimum rate of exchange, we can help you with that. We have recently just introduced a new virtual IBAN for all our clients. So again, people who maybe don't have a Spanish bank account yet, don't in fact need one, you can start moving money to your currency account with us, and any payments that you need to make out to people, you can do that and it will show your IBAN number, your Spanish identification number. I'm not going to tell you everything you do because it's going to take too long, but please come and have a chat with either myself or Michelle outside if we can help you with anything. Have a great rest of the day, and thanks for letting me speak after all these amazing women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol. That's great. And I can definitely recommend Currencies. We did it with our property purchase, and it was super good to be able to lock in that exchange rate. Right, ahead of our networking lunch, I'm delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, Kimmay Caldwell. She's an inspiring speaker and body confidence coach who is on a mission to stop women defining themselves by their numbers. And she'll be engaging you with an interactive session to dig deep and transform what we believe, which I'm very much looking forward to. Kimmay is the owner of Hooray Media and founder of Hooray Kimmay, loving that rhyme, who recently appeared on the Drew Barrymore show. We have a celebrity in our midst, ladies. She has 11 million views and counting on her video about how the worst way you can put on a bra from a bra fitter. And she's been supporting your confidence inside, outside, and underneath since 2005, when she decided to change the conversation she was having with her body and eventually her whole self to help other people like you do the same. It's wonderful to have her at the conference. Over to you, Kimmay.
Little button at the top. Can you hear? Yes. Okay. Okay, as promised, I'm gonna come over here too. Hi. So this is me. My name is Kimmay. This is my campaign called More Than My Numbers. Speaking of numbers, I need to time myself because I have longer than everyone else, but I'm also very American and very much from New York City, and I love to talk. So I've got a timer now. I'm gonna put this over here and come back over here. So, this is my first time in Spain. I'm so excited to be here. Is everybody excited to be here today? Give me a hooray. Yeah, I love it, so exciting. So first, a huge thank you to Allie and Costa Women. Just so you know, people keep asking me today, so do you live here now? And I said, no, it's my first time. And then they're like, so why are you here? Why are you in town? I get, for this. This is a big deal, y'all. This is an exciting opportunity. And Allie and I were speaking. We actually met through an organization called BIG, which is in the United States. Some of you know it. And I was a big leader right when I first started my business because I understood how important it was to meet other women in business. Oh, I just got goosebumps thinking about that. How important it is to forge relationships and get out there and talk to other people. And it was my favorite part of starting my business was having these great conversations with other people. And through that, I met Allie, who then had me on her podcast, who then invited me to speak here. I think she was joking. And I said, don't tempt me, Allie. I will come to Spain and I will speak. And through that, oh no, happen. It now says happen. Hold on. I don't want that to be down. Hold on. P, stay. E, stay. Okay. It's my dress. Sorry. So through that, then I was in Paris. We had just determined it was confirmed. We had this beautiful space. It's finally on. And we said, okay, now it's really going to happen. And I happened to be in Paris, where I go every year. And my colleagues and I were talking about a very current issue in my life, which I might share a little bit about in a moment. But my husband and I have been trying to get pregnant for 4 years. And one of my colleagues said, why don't you just go to Spain? I said, excuse me? He did not know I was coming here. He said, why don't you just go to Spain? Everybody goes to Spain for IVF. And I thought, really? So I actually just had my first IVF appointment. I'm gonna cry. Yeah. In Madrid while I was here. So you never know where things are gonna cry. You never know where things are gonna lead when you say yes to something, even if it's something that you didn't think you'd ever do, what it could lead to. So I'm so thankful to be here, thank you. Crying already. So, since we're here together, I'm going to encourage you to be here now. We've already had so many wonderful talks and we're sort of in it. Maybe you're hungry for lunch. So I just want to encourage us to remind yourself that you have nowhere else to be but right here, right now. I know we all have big lives. I know we're doing lots of things. Remind yourself that you can be fully present and then be open to guidance in all its forms. I say this because guidance can be something we read here. It can be a conversation that you have in line for coffee, which I just had, was great. It can be a sensation that you're feeling. I just had goosebumps a moment ago. That's guidance. It can be a thought. It could be a song. So guidance can come in many forms. And I just encourage you to be open to what that is today. This talk and after. So I know that we are in Spain, but actually we're in Las Vegas. Has anyone been to Las Vegas here? Oh my, whoa! So many of us, that's amazing. So there are some rules in Las Vegas, right? Everybody knows the first one, which is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yes, it's a very listen, we can do things here we're not gonna do someplace else. That's true about here, right? We're going to also have no judgment in here. Judgment comes up about ourselves. It comes up about other people. So if somebody in line shares something that's a little bit different than what you imagined, drop the judgment. If a thought in your own mind comes up that's a little bit different, drop the judgment. In fact, in Vegas, people gamble. They take risks. They do things they wouldn't have done in another place. You can do that here today. Take some risks. Do something that's a little bit beyond your comfort zone. Maybe that's talking to a new person. Maybe that's boldly declaring who you are and what you do. Maybe it's going a little more woo-woo than you would have, and you're like, this is weird for me, but I'm gonna call in Maeve. I'm gonna call on her, right? And then also you get to have fun. Vegas is fun. So I do deep and powerful work, but I'm also a fun person. So we'll have some fun here today. Okay, so I like to tell people that I say hooray inside, outside, and underneath. It's a lovely little catchy phrase, but what does that actually mean? So when I say inside, well, first of all, hooray to me is not just happiness, because happiness can be fleeting. And it's not just joy, even though that's more permanent, that's fuller, because hooray also includes being authentically you, and that can include some really hard times. I just admitted to a room full of people who most I've not met that I'm dealing with infertility. That's still part of the hooray, because I'm being honest and truthful about who I am. I'm sharing things that help me connect with other people. It helps bring in opportunities that I didn't know were there. That's part of the hooray. So you can say hooray inside, which is the most important place to start, which is with your self-talk, your thoughts, your beliefs, your faith, your soul, and like who we really are inside. You can also say hooray outside, which is how we show up in the world, how we look on the outside. I got so many compliments on this dress today. This is part of saying hooray on the outside, right? I'm reflecting how I feel on the inside. It can also be our relationship with things or people outside of us. Your business is part of your outside hooray. And then underneath, what's underneath our clothes and our physical body? A lot of times I found when I was working with coaches, they would address the inside stuff. You have to. They would address the outside stuff. They wouldn't really address the underneath stuff. And this physical body that we have is what helps take us through this life. And if we don't involve it in the mental work that we're doing, which our mind is very fast, we can understand all of these things that we learned here today, but our bodies are tactile. They're a little bit slower. We have to embody what we just learned in order for it to bring us through. And because we live in a culture, even here in Spain, but especially in the United States, where I grew up as a teenager, now too, we live in a culture of shaming the body, of telling it it's not enough. So then when you try to take this body and take all these wonderful things that we've learned and put it on a stage in front of other people, we're like, oh, hold on. Hold on a minute. Let me just cover that up, because this is embarrassing, because I don't feel good in my body. And I noticed this for myself, for sure, but for other people. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got there. Oops, wrong way. So this was me years ago. I don't look like this anymore. And this is when I started the More Than My Numbers campaign. I started this because my main job in the world, by the way, now is content creation. I really have a media company. And when people ask what I do, I tell them I'm an undergarment educator who uses undergarments as a self-love tool. However, I really make my money doing media projects. And this project, I pitched to so many brands to say, let's do this together. And nobody wanted to do it. And it was one of those things, somebody said this earlier, where I knew I had to make this in the world. And nobody else wanted to make it with me. And I said, fine, I'm going to do it by myself. So I launched this, and I have a whole bunch of numbers next to me. What do we think these numbers mean about me? Anybody? 32 years we've got. It's a good guess. Anybody else? The year I was born. Yeah, you can see. Weight, yep, my weight is up there. My eyesight, good one, of the negative 4.25. My nearsighted friends. So, do we know what those ones at the bottom mean? Binary code, no. That's one. I never had children, that's a 0 up there. The 1 is how many times I've been in love. I know, so cute. But without real context, these numbers really don't mean a lot. They're a little bit mysterious. But more importantly, what's not up here is my value as a woman, my value or worth as a person. Immeasurable. Here's another one. It's a different woman. You can tell my age is different. I'm 40 this year. Hooray. My birth year hasn't changed. My weight sure has changed. My eyesight changed a little. I've still only been in love once. That 0 that was up there before that's now a 12 is how many times I've been to Paris. And I still have 0 children. Is this person or this person more valuable? Do these numbers tell us who is a more valuable or worthy person? Can this person charge more? Is this person worthy of creating a campaign to inspire other people? These numbers are everywhere, right? And these are some things that came about because of my background. So here's a little bit more about me. There's a lot up here because I've done a lot. So hold on while I go through my little journey for you. So even though you saw these numbers about me, they didn't really tell you the full story. Even this isn't going to tell you the full story. But my job, as I said, is that I'm a content creator. I have a no airbrushing commitment, which means every picture that you see of me on my Instagram, which is a lot, in my underwear, which is a lot, is me with no airbrushing on my body. And I kept that commitment because when I first started as a bra fitter, truly, I was just poor. I was making $7 an hour, there's a number, and I was living in New York City, and I was financially on my own. I know, I see this head shaking. Girl, I was eating with a Wendy's dollar menu and barely being able to afford it. It was not healthy. And I just needed a job. And somebody said to me, I know this bra shop that's opening up downtown. Are you interested in bras? I said, I don't care about bras at all. But how much do they pay? And she said, $10 an hour. And I was like, I'm gonna be rich, let's go. And in fact, I got hired on the spot and it completely changed my life. A job that I took for $3 more an hour changed my life. And it was because when I went into that fitting room of New York City where I was seeing every kind of body that you can imagine. If you're sitting here now and you're like, she's never seen a body like mine, that's true. You have a unique and beautiful body. And yes, I have. Thousands of bodies. And these were people after pregnancy, after surgery, transgender women. This is older women, younger women, bigger women, smaller women, every kind of person that you could imagine. And there was one key thing that was the same about every single person that came into that fitting room. Now, let me remind you, this is a tiny room. It's New York City, so we don't have tons of room. Tiny room. And imagine you're here, and I'm here. And I'm wrapping a measuring tape around you, and we are close. Close. And then they would turn around and look in the mirror and have something negative to say about their body. They'd apologize for it. Oh, I'm so sorry for this. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. And I noticed I had not even noticed that thing on their body that they were apologizing for. And I was doing the same thing. I was 20 years old, there's a number, when I first started fitting bras. I was young, healthy, able, white presenting, and all of the privilege that comes with that. And I was not enough. I looked at the perfectly airbrushed images in magazines and thought, well, I don't measure up to that. And then when I saw real human bodies in the fitting room, I said, oh, that's what bodies look like. That's what they look like. And it changed my whole perspective. So I started talking kinder to myself, and then I started helping other people do the same. Because I can help you or you or you find a bra in the fitting room like that. And it will change your life. It'll be great. But I thought, while we're here, maybe we can talk about who you see in the mirror. Maybe we can talk about how you talk to that person. Because I saw the change it made in my life when I started transforming how I talk to my own body. And I wanted that for other people too. Oh, I'm moving and I'm like, you gotta help me know where this is. So, oops, no, that's not it. So, I'm a body confidence advocate. I'm also an editorial creative director and a writer. I'm also a bra fitter and undergarment educator globally around the world. I teach a lot in Paris and in New York and in LA. And then I'm the founder of Bra Confidence and Comfort, which is a course for folks just like you who wear bras. But I also teach other bra fitters all around the world how to fit with accuracy and empathy. And then I'm also the founder of Hooray Kimmay. And then I have been featured, here's a number, in over 100 press outlets. We actually stopped counting because at this point I'm fielding anywhere from 2 to 6 press requests every single month. And it's just hard to keep track of all of those. But I have been a guest expert in well over 25 TV shows in the USA, Canada, and France. Here I am with Hoda Kotb and Jenna Bush on the popular show The Today Show in the United States. That's on Good Morning America. And I'm also a coach, a mentor, a women's circle, a leader, and then the creator of More Than My Numbers, which we're going to talk about today. Right, thank you. Yeah, you know what? Yes, thank you. And here's the thing. I show you all of this because these are great achievements. But did any of this actually change my worth? Well, am I more worthy now because I've done more in the world? I'm many things. I know, I'm seeing you're like, maybe, right? Like, I could probably charge more now because I have more expertise, because I have more confidence, because I've earned it through doing more. But am I more worthy of love now? If I fail now, does that mean I'm a bad person? Am I more worthy than the 32-year-old me that started this campaign? There are real things, these are like real questions that we get to ask ourselves to be like, how do I address myself based on my outside accomplishments or the numbers that go with it? So, who is more worthy, valuable, loved, or deserving? How about this person? That's me. Mira que linda. I know, ella es bella, yo sé. My little red face. That's my granddaddy, very southern man, who lived to be 93 years old. I know, that's a number. How about this one? Mira que linda, tú sabes. This is me at, like, I think peak cuteness. Like, I was real cute here. How about her? Is she more valuable or worthy? She didn't create a campaign yet. She's not been on the Drew Barrymore show yet. Her waist doesn't measure 32 inches. Is she more valuable or less valuable because her numbers are different? Can you imagine looking at yourself when you're 7 years old and being like, you're actually not lovable yet? Sorry, because you haven't had those 1,000 Instagram likes yet. So sorry. Actually, you're not that valuable because you haven't hit your 6 figures in your business yet. So sorry. Can you imagine? What about this version? Oh my gosh, this was clearly, I know, the crimper and I were best friends. Here's my grandmother. Here's me and my brother. So awkward. These were awkward years, y'all. This was me at peak awkwardness. And these aren't even the worst pictures. This is me with glasses and a unibrow. And this is when I learned that my value was based on my beauty, was based on how other people saw me, and was based on my weight, on my numbers. That was the biggest number for me when I was a young person. And I forgot that numbers also work together. So I was 5'7", 5'7" by the time I was like 14. And my friends were all this tall, and they all weighed less. And I thought I had to match their number to be cool like them. I thought I had to weigh what they weighed so that I could be pretty and cute and petite, instead of just owning that this body that I had its own numbers and its own set of different metrics and was still valuable. Here I am in high school. I was thin, y'all. Huge trigger warning here for body people who have gone through any kind of dysmorphia or challenges with food. I tried to control my body so much so I could match their numbers, so that we could be the same, so that we could both be cute. And we would, this is so popular with women, we would commiserate together about like, ugh, I'm so fat today. And we would feel like we belonged together because we both would go, oh my God, me too. But you're so beautiful, you're so stunning, I'm just so gross. And it was like, it was how we bonded together. And it took a long time for me to unlearn those things and those habits and behaviors. So here I am in modern day, walking in my underwear in front of the Eiffel Tower. That was a fun day. And here I am on the Drew Barrymore show, in a completely different body, totally free from, I wouldn't say totally, actually, because we still live in the same culture, but way more free from these pressures to look a certain way. And this, ladies, is how I actually got to do all of that fun stuff. Because I let go of the numbers meaning something about me and my worth and who I am, and just use them as information to make a new choice. Here's who I am, and this was actually the definition that I put up when I first started this campaign. Besides numbers, I was a wife, a sister, a cat lover. I was a woman of integrity, that was so important to me and still is. A boss. So that's my Spanish accent coming through. A woman of faith, had great faith. These mattered so much more to me than all of those numbers lined up here. Here's some more that I created just recently. That I am divinely created, I am loved and loving, I am guided and supported, I am enough, I am worthy. Allie said her word of the year, mine is worthy, and that I am valuable. And I don't just mean pay me. I mean I am of value. I belong. And here's the most important thing. One of my coaches asked me this. I'm going to offer this all to you. She asked me one day, and there's so many capable, productive people here, so I feel like this might get some of you. This is just a question for you to journal about later. If tomorrow you could no longer do anything, your arms didn't work, you couldn't speak, your legs no longer functioned, and all you could do was lay in bed and rest. That was all that you were capable of. Would you still be a worthy person? And some of you were like, yeah, sure. I did not feel that way. I said, if I'm being completely honest, if I can't do anything, am I valuable? Whew. That was the hardest question I had ever asked myself. So that big laundry list that you see up there that I've done is super, super, super cool. I'm very proud of it. And it's not actually defining my worth. So, what is more than my numbers? We have a video. Is it possible to play the videos or no? Oh, let me see. Oh, maybe it's not here. Well, either way, let's move on. Here's why I started this, because every time I would wrap the measuring tape around somebody in the fitting room, what do you think would happen? Yeah. And then they go, what am I? What am I? Tell me what I am. What am I? And I'm like, hold on a minute. Number one, relax. Breathe like a human. Number two, I can tell you what you measure, but I can't tell you who you are or what you are. And it really drives me nuts when somebody says something like, oh, I'm a 34E. And I'm like, actually, you're a divinely created, kind, integrity person who is more valuable just because she was born, and a 34E just happens to fit today, right? Because that number can change. So my question for you is, if we do that in one place, where are you doing that in other places? Because it's true. The reason I use undergarments as my favorite tool is because how we do one thing is often how we do other things. So where else are you trying to be smaller? Where else are you trying to shrink or to fit into an outdated ideal, and this is important, that's set by someone else? When you were 3, did you say, have to be svelte in order to be successful? When you were 7, did you say, oh, have to have a small band size and petite cup size in order to be acceptable? No. But somewhere along the line, we learned we had to look a certain way, our measurements had to be a certain thing, and our numbers had to fit a certain box in order for us to be acceptable. So, let's see if this, is there no sound? No. Well, then we'll go on. Oh, there's captions, look. This is the first video that I made from this. Look how young and adorable I am. And I was sharing how these other numbers also define us, because it's not just bra size. I'm gonna move on, because bra size, this size right here, 32 double D, no one believed I wore that then. Look at this picture and look at these boobs. Are you like, are you really a good bra fitter? Because nobody understood what those numbers and those letters actually mean. Y'all, people have been wearing bras for 40 years and still do not know. She's like, oh, it's me. Still do not know what those numbers mean. And if I told them, hey, you know what's gonna fit best today? The 32F, they go, oh, no, not me. That you're mistaken. I don't wear an F cup. And I go, okay, that's what the numbers are telling me. This is the information that I'm getting. The number wasn't the problem. Thank you so much. The number wasn't the problem. It was what the number meant about them. That an A or a B cup was small, and I'm not enough. A B or a C cup was just right. A D cup was too big. A double D cup, way too big. A triple D, no, this is crazy. Do you want to know the most popular bra sizes that I fit in my 20 years of doing this? Who can guess? C cup, 34C, who else? B cup, E cup, 38D, cool. It's G and H cup, y'all, all day long. And it's not because I'm only working with big buxom Americans, okay? I said it's no judgment here. It's because we don't understand what those sizes actually mean. And when we get the numbers, even if we do the math, which you have in your homework, in your books, if you do the math, you're probably gonna go home tonight and be like, there's no way. There's no way. Because suddenly that means something about us. I'm gonna go a little faster here. So here's the deal. I told you my measurements. And here, on the same day, I can also wear several different bra sizes because bras are all made differently. This is like jeans. When you go shopping for jeans, you can wear lots of different color or lots of different sizes. So that's why you're not a size. But also, this is the most important thing, numbers are information, not a definition. Especially with bra sizes, it just gives us a place to start. But think about this with your Instagram numbers. This just gives us information about, okay, what next step do I want to take? Not who you are, not how much you can charge, not if that person says yes or no, that all of a sudden I'm a bad business owner. Just great. What's the next step I can make with this information? Here's some examples of other people and their numbers. In the first campaign that I did, all of these numbers mean nothing about this person. I bet you I could put your numbers up here too, and we would know nothing about you, because that's not who you are. Here's another person we might all know. I asked earlier, I didn't want to be that American that assumed everyone knows American people. So I was like, do people here know Serena Williams? And then she looked at me like I was an idiot. She's like, well, yeah, she's very famous. I said, okay, fine. So do you all know who Serena Williams is? She's a great tennis player. Here's some of her numbers. Here's what they mean. This is way back in 2018, by the way. But she had all these rankings. She had 820 wins, 141 losses, which if you look at that number alone, God, she's terrible. She's 154 pounds. She's 37. Those two numbers alone, right? Maybe some of us think that. And then if you look at this with her numbers for her income, I want you to take a look at the prize money that she was earning. And it starts at 2 million, then 3 million, at a little dip at 2, and then 7 million, and then 10 million, and then we're down to 9, but then up again to 12, and then down to 7, and then down to less than 2 million. God, she must be terrible. Her worth must be tanking. She must just be not worthy. That's what if we just look at the numbers, that's what it's tempting us to talk to or say to ourselves. Obviously, she made a little bit of a rebound, but we also know now, because we know Serena, she's got other things going on. She's got cool stuff she's doing. Anybody watch the Super Bowl here? Did you see her do her cool dance as like revenge against an ex-boyfriend? Outrageous. But she's also a mother, a sister, an entrepreneur, an athlete. She's passionate. She's a role model. She's a human. She's divinely created. You've got most of these in common with her, y'all. You and Serena Williams are so similar, and she's fucking fantastic, and so are you. Excuse my American language. So, what are some of the types of numbers that we let define us? Here's some common ones, and I want you to think of one for you. Age. Mate, I'm too young, I'm too old. One for this. Weight was a big one for me. Our salary. The number of kids we do or not have. Our number of marriages. Our dress size, our bra size. Marriages. Breasts. This is a big one for me in the world that I work in. Because suddenly, if you've had a mastectomy or you've surgically removed your breast, the big question is, am I even a woman? Am I worthy of love from someone if I don't have breasts? It's a biggie. The number of followers, woo! Who's on Instagram here? How many times are you like, man, I don't have enough followers to be cool, right? I got the question last night, actually from Allie's husband. Well, how many followers do you have? And I said, well, Patrick, thank you for asking, because I'm doing a whole talk on more than my numbers. And if you look at my Instagram, some of you might be like, wow, 13,000, that's amazing. But compared to my friends who are creators, that's not very much. And yet I make 90% of my income through social media sponsored content. So the numbers alone, not gonna tell you anything. It doesn't, also the numbers don't tell you how people, I'm gonna sit up here, how people trust me or the expertise that I have and the niche that I've created. That number does not tell you that. Okay, number of reps you can do, page views, the number of partners that you have, the sales that you have, your test score, your IQ, or your debt. So, what happens when we use numbers to define us? We can obsess about them, that's very common. We can also avoid them. For many years, I didn't own a scale because I had become too obsessive. But then I also noticed now I was just avoiding it, and now it was time for me to be more neutral about numbers and to actually use them for information. You can also compare or compete. You can judge yourself or others. You can get stuck, you can give up, and you can lose sight of your real worth. We're gonna skip that. I don't have enough time. So what's possible when we use numbers as information and not a definition? We can be present. We can have gratitude. We can take action. We can drop the judgment. We can show up fully. We can grow. When you look at those numbers and say, okay, if I can use this as information instead of defining my worth, how can I grow from this? And you can embrace your real worth and find freedom. I'm gonna skip this too. Your worth is immeasurable. If you get literally nothing else from me today, I actually don't care if you care about bras, like truly, don't care. I want you to get this, that self-worth is not measurable in the way that things like net worth, social status, or accomplishments are. Unlike external factors, which can be counted or compared, self-worth is inherent and unconditional. That little baby that you saw here before, worthy. That 40-year-old woman who stands before you today, worthy. And it exists simply because you do. Instead of measuring self-worth, the focus should be on recognizing and nurturing it. It literally already exists in you. You just get to peel back the layers a little bit. And then it's about deepening the belief that you are valuable just as you are, not because of what you achieve or how others perceive you. You are here today because that freedom is yours. It's meant for you, it's waiting, it's calling you. It has always been yours, and it's just been covered up with stories, definitions, or fears. The story that I'm not enough until I reach that number. The story that I'm not beautiful until that number. The story that I'm not motherly or I don't belong until I have my kids. So here's some things for you. I want you to breathe through this. Ready? I know it's hot in here. We're hungry. I know. I see you. I'm hot too. I want to strip this jacket off, girl. So I want you to breathe as I read these and see which one. This is where that guidance comes in. Which one feels like your body is like, ooh, we need that. We need that one, okay? So breathe a little bit here with me. The number on the scale does not determine my health. Breathe. The number on the tag does not define my beauty. Breathe. Yeah. The number on my birthday cake does not tell me who I am and who I'm going to be. The number of partners I've had does not reveal my ability to be loved or loving. The number of children does not account for my maternal nature. That's a breath for me. The number of followers I have does not signify my value. The number of dollars that I earn does not show my true worth. This list can go on and on. It can include your bra size. Here I'm wearing a 32E. Here I'm wearing a 34F. Today I'm wearing a 36E. It's a sister size. And it's important to know your numbers, but not be defined by them. So I encourage you to use numbers as information and not a definition to make a loving and informed decision about what you want to do with that information. Whether it's your salary, whether it's your bra size, whatever it is, to make that loving and informed decision. I have a question for us. I know I have 1 minute left. I was going to do a little exercise. Do we have time or no? It would take about 10 minutes, though. Do we have enough time for that? You can say no. We can try. Well, let me ask y'all out here, because you matter. Are you up for an exercise, or would you want to go eat? Who wants to do an exercise? Who wants to go eat? 3 people, great. I honor you. If you want to go eat, girl. But I would love to do an exercise with you. Because you know what? Because we're here this one time together in Las Vegas. Let's do it, okay? Okay, great. First of all, can y'all stand up for 1 second? Quickly, because I only have 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. Stand up. And I want you, please, to shake a little bit. We're going to shake. We have gone through so much already today. Yeah, shake it out a little bit. Let it move through your body. Okay? Somebody pick a number between 1 and 5. 5 and 10. 7. Great. So this is a theater acting exercise. Okay? We're going to get this into your body. Now, I want you, before we do this, I was going to do a whole guided visualization, which is very powerful, and we don't have time for today. So instead, we're going to do this. And before we do, I want you to think of one of those numbers I mentioned up there, that you are willing today, that's a big thing, you have to be willing. Are you willing today to let go of its hold on you and defining you? Thank you. In order to make your next step towards a loving and informed decision, okay? So think of that list. I can go back to it if you like. Hold on. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here. And think of something that you're like, I'm ready. I'm ready to take my next step towards releasing that hold on me, yeah? And we're gonna get this into your body, because I told you our bodies are tactile. And maybe your brain is like, this makes sense, yeah. Love the red dress, love what she's saying, great. But our body is like, so we're gonna shake a little bit. Has anyone been to theater camp here? Maybe this is just a United States thing. Yes, okay, theater people. So we're gonna take, this is the only time I wish I had the pop star thing. We're gonna take our right hand, then our left hand, then our right foot, be careful, then our left foot, and we're gonna shake it hard. And as you're doing this, I want you to be counting with me, but I want you to also visualize, oh, that's my timer, hello. Thank you so much. I want you to also visualize that you are bringing in this declaration that I am more than my blank. You know it. You know exactly what it is. I am more than my weight. I am more than my salary. I am more than what I'm charging people. I am more than how many times I've been in the news, right? I want you to take that number, and as we're counting it down, I want you to feel it sink into your body, okay? Every single time we count. So we're gonna start with 7, because that was our magic number, and we're gonna shake for 7 over here, and then 7 over here, and then 7 here, and then 7 here. Then we're gonna do 6, and 6, and 6, and 6. I see my theater people. And then 5, 5, 5, 5. And we're gonna get a little bit faster, and we're gonna get a little bit louder as we go on, okay? We'll start very chill. We'll start with just counting to 7, and then we're gonna get a little wild. And then when you get down to 1, we're gonna 1, 1, 1, 1, and then I want you to just shake. I don't want you to look to your left and be like, is she gonna think I'm weird? We're in Vegas, okay? There is no judgment. I'm not even taping you. No one's gonna know, right? This is just for you to take this practice into your body, okay? I'm not gonna use this because I'm gonna do it with you, so I'm gonna put it down. Are we ready? Yes. So think of what that is. I am more than my whatever, right? And then I'm more than my number of kids, okay? And then I'm gonna feel this in my body. We're gonna shape, we'll start with your right, okay? And then we'll go to your left, and then your right, and then your left, okay? Derecha, izquierda, derecha, izquierda, okay? Okay, tú sabes. Okay, ready? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, alphabet, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, Does anybody feel alive right now? Yes! So here's what I want you to do for our final thing. I want you to look to the person to your left. Well, okay, fine. Look to somebody next to you. And I want you to declare out loud. I want you to say this to them. I am more than my, and fill in the blank. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now turn to the other person, another person, and say the same thing. I am more than my. I want to hear from, I see tears, I'm so thankful, I see tears. The tears are moving because we moved the stuff. The tears are flowing because we moved the stuff. The laughter is flowing because we moved the stuff through us. So that's so powerful, I'm so proud of you. So I want to hear from 3 people that you are more than your what. Somebody fill in the blank. I can't come down, who can say it? Oh, more than my weight. Yes, I'm more than my weight. Give her a round of applause. Someone over here. More than my income. One more person over the back.
I'll just say more than my age.
More than my age. Let's do one more. Somebody over here. Yes.
Size progress.
So much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you. I'm going to be out there for the class tomorrow. I'm postcards for everybody. There are also measuring tape. Look at my dress camera. Excuse me. Oh my God. That was not planned. Okay, well, the final thing I want to say is that I also have some instructions in here for you. We didn't have time to get your bra size today, but I have some resources for you so that you can go there. Find both how your bra should fit and then also how to find your bra size. Then come to me on Instagram and let me know how that went for you and if you're able to release those numbers as information, not definition. Okay, hooray!
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Sorry. Wow, what a great presentation. What a great way to break for lunch. So we're going to have just under an hour to go and have our lunch. And please remember to buy your raffle tickets. We're raising money for a really great cause. If anyone has that QR code that was snapped away there, return it, there'll be no judgment. And 2:20 please to be back here. Remember to network. And Ali, did you want to say about the colours? I think Ali's got a new challenge for you to keep networking, remembering business cards, remembering. Hey! So, pink. Go and network with yellow, or other pink, or other yellow, and orange. Go and pink.